Rajon, welcome back. So it hasn't even been a calendar year since the title down in the bubble, and I just wonder where your mind's at coming back to this team after everything that went down in really the last two seasons combined since you came to the Lakers.
Just a positive mindset, a forward mindset, understanding that we didn't get our parade, but coming off, not like I said, over a year being a champion, I want to do it again. I want to obviously a parade here in LA, and this is, I think, a special team that could possibly make that happen.
So a lot of new pieces, obviously. You know LeBron and AD quite well. You get Dwight and THT. But I'm going to start with your thoughts on Westbrook and just what kind of, you competed against him for so many years, so what you think it's going to be like having him in this group.
More excitement, more energy in practice. Looking forward to a lot more competitive competitions with him and other guys on our team. So it's a hell of a team as far as a lot of competitors, and I'm looking forward to getting better each day in practice with those guys.
All right, Kyle Goon, please.
Rajon, welcome back.
Thank you.
Just wondering, obviously you had the ability to go wherever as a free agent after being bought out by Memphis. What were the biggest factors that drew you back to LA, and especially relationship-wise with some of your old teammates and coaches? How did that play a role?
It played a huge role. Obviously, everybody wants to be wanted, but then having Coach Frank, I talked to him early this morning as far as his expectations for me, and understanding that he missed my voice last year in the locker room, which meant a lot, and understanding that I do have value here and wanted to be wanted. So Frank was a big key. Obviously talked to Brian AD. We keep in touch all the time. Rob's been true to me from day one, even the first time I signed with the Lakers. So just having those old relationships and not burning bridges in the past, and having great things come together.
All right, over to Dan.
Hey, Rajon. There's a lot been made about this team's sort of overall age. I'm curious how you view that. Do you see it as a strength in terms of experiences? Do you think kind of, getting through the season injury-free is going to be a challenge? And then I guess secondly, how are you feeling physically kind of after dealing with what you had to deal with last year physically?
Wisdom is definitely a key, to winning the championship, and we have a lot of that obviously with the age and the experience on the court. I'm most excited about not being the oldest guy on the team anymore, so I'm actually probably bottom 5 now, so that's a big step for me, going from 2 months ago I was the oldest guy on the team. Now I'm considered one of the young guys, so I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to the naysayers saying about our age as being a problem, but obviously you don't have longevity in this league without having discipline, and so many guys. I just got done talking to Trevor. He's in for 17, Dwight 18, Brian 18. So we have the guys that have had the mileage, but at the same time, there's a reason they're still playing at this league at this level for so many years. So I'm not worried about anything or the spectators saying that the age makes a difference. I think the mind is going to be a big key in why we win this year.
All right, Bill Lauren, please.
Hey, Rajon. I'm curious what you, if this is such a new group with all these guys that you just been through, is there one of those guys that you haven't had the opportunity to play with yet in your career that you are most looking forward to spending a year with?
Carmelo, obviously Russ, and even Trev. I just talked to Trev. I'm looking forward to talking to Trev and learning his mind, his focus. Did Trez beat me? I think Trez beat me a couple years back in the 10 finals. So, like I said, we've had a lot of great battles. A lot of these guys as now teammates, and I'm looking forward to putting everything in the past and putting it together for the greater good of the team and winning a championship here.
All right, Alan Slewa.
Hey, Rajon, just wanted to get your thoughts aside from obviously the Westbrook, LeBron, Anthony. Just your thoughts on the entire roster, some of the other guys that came in, some of the vets that you're talking about, even some of the younger players, your thoughts on how the entire roster was assembled.
I think it's a great roster. I think Rob did a hell of a job again. We brought in Kent Bazemore. You got Ellington as well, knockdown shooter, young talent in Monk, along with TBT. So I think we got a great mix of guys, a great group of guys that haven't won, who have a chip on their shoulder, have so much to prove, and a lot of balance of guys that have won. So I think we have a great team chemistry. I believe training camp is going to be big for us, how we start out, how we set the tone early on in the season and come together.
Back to Kyle.
Just a follow up, obviously played a huge role in 2020, but last year in some of the later series with the Clippers, you weren't a huge part of the rotation. I was wondering, do you still feel like you can come back and be the kind of player you were in the postseason for the Lakers last year?
Yeah, like I said, it hasn't been 10 years. I don't think I've changed much. I don't think my game has declined. But, you're only as good as your coach believes in you. And going forward this year, looking at the Lakers team and the roster, understanding where I am in my career, but at the same time, I do believe I can still bring a lot to the game. But my main focus is if we win, nothing else matters.
I will do last two questions here. First, we'll go to Andy Kamenetsky, please.
Hey, Rajon. Talked a bit earlier about the leadership role you have on this team. Frank Vogel values it, obviously. Over the years, what have you learned most about leadership and just how has yours evolved?
Well, you can't pick and choose when you want to be a leader. You have to show up every day. Guys are watching you, young and old. You're being critiqued or judged regardless of the outcome of how you feel that morning. You just have to show up and be consistent. And no one likes a guy that just talks about it. You do it with your work, you do it with your discipline and consistency. So for me, most part, understanding that I don't know it all and I'm a willing listener and I can learn from, Malik Monk versus, Trevor Ariza. So having an open mindset, not being closed off thinking you know it all I think is a big key as well as being a leader and things I've grown from in my past.
And we'll end with a follow-up from Dan, please.
At this stage, kind of in your career, is there something extra to being on a team that you feel like has a legitimate chance to win? Does that give you more juice versus, say, going to a situation where maybe there would have been more minutes or something like that? Just being a part of a championship opportunity, is that kind of what gets you most excited?
Absolutely. I think I'm, one of the most competitive guys in the league, and I love to win. And being put in a situation now to where we have opportunity to win a championship, and it's only a handful of teams that can say that in the beginning of the training camp, and we're one of them this year. And I look forward to, again, proving people wrong, understanding that age doesn't make a difference, and a lot of the guys on teams still have a lot left in the tank, and going against all odds and getting it done.